Diddy got 4 years and 2 months in prison and a big fine plus 5 more years of being watched, and Jaguar Wright and Gan Deal, who's seen how dangerous he is, are saying he lying again, Jaguar said. She don't feel sorry for him at all. She said, he hurt too many people, and now it's his turn. And people online saying his team trying to make him look innocent, but nobody buying it anymore.
They were saying that it might go until Monday. I was actually kind of surprised that it didn't, considering the show that they put on for the public. They put on such a lovely show.
That was a show.
What did you say?
That was a show.
There was a video montage.
Oh my God.
You would have thought it was like a retirement ceremony. Or, someone winning an award for, lifetime achievement or something, the way they sat there and the way they carried on and the way, especially when it gets to the point where lawyers are forcing themselves to tears or almost to tears, talking about how inspiring that deviant is.
All the big charges against Diddy got dropped and he only got 4 years, even though the rules said he should get 9. The same judge who kept saying no to his bail 6 times now suddenly gave him a short sentence and told him to change. But people saying Diddy can never change his kids only spoke good about him because they still need him for money and support, and everyone can see that clear now.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit up there and judge anybody and what they want to do for their parent or their financial provider. Because I'm sorry, do any of those children have a means for earning a living outside of the Combs enterprise? I don't think so.
I mean, King Combs.
Doing what?
I don't know.
What's he do? Other than post on his dad's timeline and make music videos that I don't know that anybody actually watches. What do they do? What do any of them do?
Diddy got his kids wrapped around his finger and making them talk for him, because if he goes to jail, nobody gonna hire them. They got no other money coming in, and most of his sons already caught up in their own legal mess. So people asking who gonna pay their lawyers if Diddy goes down, because without him, they got nothing.
Do you think Diddy's kids spoke out publicly?
What choice do they have?
Even I think one of the sons did a rap, and he's like,
what choice do they have? When you're dealing with the kind of narcissistic control freak that Diddy is, and you raise children under that, the financial abuse for all of them is probably the worst. Because there's no way they can make money without him. He has them locked in. And if he falls, who's gonna hire them? Who's gonna fund them? Who's gonna look out for them? No one. No one. They're not fighting for their father, they're fighting for their survival. What they all gonna do? Go work at the Good Burger or the with the Wall Burger? What they gonna do?
Turns out, even from jail, Diddy couldn't stop playing games. The Fed said he was making over 200 calls every week and using his family to reach the witnesses. He would tell them to add people on the call so nobody could trace who he was talking to or what he was saying. But the plan failed when one witness came forward and told the truth, showing how Diddy was still trying to pull strings from behind bars.
$1 million at his disposal. Isn't that by nature the exact thing that they're worried about? If you have this much money that you could make this thing, you could probably make people disappear if you really opted to.
See, this is the thing. That'll just make more trouble. Why would he make more trouble now? He done already bought off and paid off everybody he possibly could. Have you looked at the indictment, like he called some witnesses up to 54 times.
Yeah, 200 and how many Angel? 200 something people.
Yeah.
He tried to reach out to
Like, what are you running, a telethon or a telemarketing agency? Telemarketers don't make that many calls in one day. Or sometimes not even in a week, all depending on you was on that. You down for Diddy? Like, how does that conversation start? Hey, what's up? I really feel bad about that last time I bashed you in the face with a Ciroc bottle. Look, we good?
Jaguar just dropped a bomb saying Diddy not acting alone, she said. He got a whole bunch of people working for him and even his kids being forced to help. She said Diddy created a circle of monsters around him, but he's the only one getting sent to jail. And now she's ready to expose every single person tied to his mess.
It's time for all of the victims to come forward. But for the people that have been denying it, you know what? Let's not be coy. I am Jaguar. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bean. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Should I keep going?
I mean, you're hitting it on.
Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
Now, Carisha and Rick Ross just sat down together in an interview.
I know. Two Diddy doo-wop bops. What a reunion.
Gene and Jaguar both saying the same thing, that Diddy got no real regret and he can never change. He cried in court and sent a letter to the judge saying he was sorry and talking about how he teaches other inmates about success and how he's sober now. After 25 years, he even said the old him died in jail and a new him was born, asking for mercy, not just for himself, but for his kids too. But nobody buying that act because his past too dark to just wash away.
Diddy spoke to the judge before sentencing, and it sounded like he was taking accountability.
Accountability for what? Same kind of accountability he took after he told everybody Cassie was lying on him, and then he got popped on my birthday when the video came out on CNN. And then he had to come back and do the whack-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah, I guess accountability for what he got caught for.
How does now nobody not see that the apology he gave for Cassie after he called her a liar for months and said that it wasn't true, she was making it all up? How does nobody not see that they're the same apology? How does nobody not see that what he just did in that courtroom was no different than the monologue that was in Blink Twice?
No, man.
It's the same monologue.
Does it account for anything, though, that he started to feel sorry for his actions?
Sorry for his actions?
He's been sitting in NBC for you.
Actually sorry. Do you think he would have allowed his legal team to destroy those women like that on that stand? See, you sat there and you let your legal team rip those people to shreds while they were barely being protected by the feds.
Looks like Diddy slipped out easy again and everyone's shocked. How Gene said he got away with it and still got no regret. He might be out in a year or two. And when that happens, people think the truth about who helped him will finally come out.
What they call relevant conduct that you do in that stuff. And Diddy did a lot of shit. He beat people. He drugged people. The judge even said this. You understand? The judge spoke about coercion. And no matter what the what you call them people, the jurors, said and thought and everything like that. The judge spoke about his coercion, his relevant conduct. The judge spoke about, mitigating circumstances. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit the judge spoke about. Look at here. He got caught with drugs. Never got charged with the drugs, and the judge knew that. That's why the judge said relevant conduct. You understand? He got caught with guns in the house with the serial number. The judge knew that. You understand? Relevant conduct. You understand? That he didn't get charged with. The beating of Jane, hitting in the head, the assault, and all that stuff of Cassie. All those things, they probably couldn't. I don't guess they could have charged him with them, but they came up in the trial. All that's relevant conduct. You understand? And people don't understand all the things that he was doing. Then the judge made a point. When you go and talk to the managers and you talk to people about hiding evidence. You understand? Remember the fact in the trial when it came up that he gave the guy $100,000 and some $100,000 to keep the tape that from cashing them? That's relevant conduct. Your judge was speaking about all.
For a long time, Gene been looking over his shoulder because he been speaking out about Diddy. People close to Diddy even said he wanted something bad to happen to Gene. So now there's no way Gene could ever feel sorry for him after everything he's been through.
Don't get me wrong, bro. I don't want to see a black man in jail. I don't want to see a black man in jail. But I don't care nothing about Diddy going to jail. That's a big difference to me. I never want to see a black man going to jail based on the circumstance, based on the situation, based on he may not have the legal team, because a lot of us get railroaded. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us get railroaded. So I don't never want to see no black. That's what these cats gonna be saying. Yo, they want to see a nigga. Nah, bro. I fought to keep guys out of jail for 27 years. But do I care about him going to jail? Nah, I don't, bro. I'm sorry. God just gonna have to take that off my heart. But that's my enemy. He made it clear.
Even though Diddy pretty much got off easy, his lawyer still said they gonna appeal the decision because Diddy really thought he'd walk out on probation. He never planned on doing time, so to him, 4 years feels like forever. He don't care that he been doing shady stuff for over 20 years. He just don't want to spend even one more day behind bars.
New York City, we are hearing Diddy's attorneys speaking to the media after he was sentenced earlier today. This is live.
So yeah, we are planning to appeal. I want to hear them, bro. We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. We think that is unconstitutional. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
If the prosecution files a cross appeal, what would happen in that regard if they filed a cross appeal and then Sean Diddy Combs get a higher sentence?
He would not get a higher sentence, and they're not gonna cross appeal. We're gonna appeal. We think we're right, and they'll respond to the appeal, and it'll be decided by the Second Circuit as soon as.
Tell us about the conversation you had with your client after the sentencing.
Consensual. The judge clearly thought the sexual encounters weren't consensual. What did you make of his remarks?
He's biased. I'm happy to go. So we think that's just absolutely inconsistent with the jury's verdict. I mean, the jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no trafficking, there was no racketeering, everything was consensual, everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the prostitution offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's verdict.
Well, at least the judge was open-minded.
And people saying Diddy didn't do all that alone. And if the feds looked closer, more names would have come out, everyone wondering who he was really working with and supplying behind closed doors.
That happened in the R. Kelly case, because if that had been properly addressed, this would have been addressed back then. These people have been working together, all in cahoots for all of this time, and it needs all be addressed. I'm glad it's not just me anymore. I'm glad it's someone else. I'm glad there are other people who need to be heard. I'll be sure. I'm glad they're hearing him, Cassie. I'm glad they're hearing her, Kim Porter. Through, I'll be sure. I'm glad. Natanya Rubin, I'm glad. All of these things. So yeah, it's mixed emotions, but I just know when you pray for something and God answers it, you should be happy.
Ties to Florida. We know he has ties to LA. Now we know that he has ties to Detroit. How many other metropolises in the United States has he been able to infect at the highest levels? Oh, come on. To be able to do his bidding. The Detroit judge saying, our good friend in New York gotta pay the bills somehow. Amen.
Funny how so many people who've been close to Diddy ended up behind bars. This mess goes way higher than people think, and they all been part of the same circle. One person online said, "It's wild that Diddy asking for mercy when he never showed any to his victims. His time was too short, and in the music game, he'll probably come out even bigger than before."
And he goes to probably a halfway house. So he got off like a fat rat in a cheese factory. But for a dude like Diddy going to jail and spending all that time, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be rough or nothing like that, because his former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burrows, with the federal jail. You understand? Lil' Kim with the federal jail. So, you know, because the type of dude he is, you know, he'll make it, he'll be all right. And plus they gonna send him to a camp, bruh. He'll be in somebody's camp or somebody's dormitory, whereas that it'll be real light for him. So, you know, he'll see the streets back again in 24 months. He'll be out within 2 years. It seems like a lot saying 50 months and everything like that, but it's not really a lot, not at all, bro. It's not a lot at all. You know what I'm saying? I know for executive, somebody who's been a jet setter, somebody who's been going all around the world, been in all kind of, you know, stadiums, galas, and living in mansions. You know, it's a lot of people who lived in mansions that's in federal jail. You know, you got Senator Melendez from Jersey in jail.
Diddy still sitting on billions, so this sentence barely touches him. He even asked to pick his own prison and wants to go to Fort Dix, because that spot got a program called RDAP, where inmates do 9 months of treatment and can get out up to a year early. Looks like Diddy already planning his way out before he even steps in.
People look at it like this hasn't affected his pockets technically, as far as just on the status level.
It's affected his pockets. It's just left him. He still got enough to play with.
A lot to play with. I mean,
yeah, for now. They want him to go to New Jersey. They want him to go to Fort Dix, one of the weakest guarded federal penitentiaries in the United States. I know Fort Dix. It's a real nice place to take somebody, so when they finally get to go outside out in the yard, they can just get somebody to come and extract them right up out of there. You can leave and you don't have to worry about ever being held accountable. See, I'm not dumb. I ain't nobody's fool. People like being fooled. told these days, people like being lied to. They want to believe in the land of make-believe. Diddy said sorry, and now we can all go home and have ice cream.
The judge dropped the rules. Diddy gotta follow after he gets out. He's gonna be watched for 5 years and has to meet his probation officer often. Plus, he can't touch any drugs and has to take a test within 15 days of getting out, and then a few more after that to make sure he stays clean.
Conditions that he is going to have to follow when he gets out of prison have been released by the judge. This is not going to be an easy thing for Diddy to handle. He is someone that is used to traveling, used to doing whatever he wants basically, and now we know he is going to deal with 5 years of supervision when he finally does get out of prison. Obviously, Diddy cannot commit any other federal, state, or local crime, and he must not unlawfully possess a controlled substance. He also must refrain from any unlawful use of a controlled substance, and he must submit to a test within 15 days of release from imprisonment. Then at least 2 periodic tests thereafter as determined by the court. The Diddy must cooperate in a collection of DNA as directed by the probation officer. The judge doesn't check here that he must participate in an approved program for violence because it's in another set of conditions that he actually already has to do this. Diddy also has a list of standard conditions that he is going to have to meet when he gets out of prison. You must report to the probation office in the federal jurisdiction district where you are authorized to reside within 72 hours of your release from imprisonment. After initially reporting to the probation office, you will receive instructions from the court or the probation officer about how you will report to the probation office, and you must report to the probation officer as instructed. You must not knowingly leave the federal judicial district where you are authorized to reside without first getting permission from the court or the probation officer. So that means Diddy is not just going to be able to get up and travel like he thinks without getting permission from the probation department. You must answer truthfully questions asked by your probation officer. You must live in a place approved by the probation officer. If you plan to change where you live or anything about your living arrangement, such as the people that you are living with, you must notify the probation officer at least 10 days before the change. You must allow the probation officer to visit you at any time at your home or...
The biggest bomb Jaguar dropped was about the one case Diddy couldn't escape. She got her hands on papers from Derek Lee Cardell Smith, who sued Diddy for $100 million and actually won. Now Diddy's team trying hard to hide it. Cause if this comes out, it could ruin his shot at getting into that drug program he's been hoping for.
Agnaphila. You wanna know what's funny? While Mark Agnaphila was sitting there making fun of baby oil and doing all of the stuff that he was doing in court and creating all of that nice guy hoopla, trying to get everyone to believe that Diddy is not such a terrible person and that he's a wonderful man and he deserves to go back to Madison Square Garden and he's going to be right there to cheer him on. Do you want to know where else he was? In Wayne County, negotiating with Derek Lee Cardell Smith.
Wow.
His victim.
Wow.
Why would he be in negotiations with him if he actually believed that everything that he said in that courtroom was true?
Sounds like a fixer.
Sounds like a fixer. A liar.
Boy.
You think I give a shit about that sentencing? Let me regale you. Hold on. Wait a minute.
And as you're pulling it up,
Is it your testimony that you have your team of technicians technicians at the crime lab who can and have manipulated evidence to place grapes not only on Derek Lee Cordello Smith, but other men as well, with the end result being they will plead because they have no choice. And they know you will get convictions because the SA victims in those cases are actually victims of Sean Combs and of the execrable slavery ring in Michigan. And guess what the witness's response was? So what? Yeah.
People saying Diddy did more than just send his lawyers after Derek Lee Cardell Smith. He actually showed up at the jail to talk to him face to face, trying to convince him to let the case go. But Derek stood his ground, and that move backfired because he ended up winning big against Diddy.
You wanna know what's really funny though? You wanna know what's super duper funny? It just disappeared. Do you know what I thought when I heard it myself? I said, oh, it must have not been real. Because there's no way in the world this isn't gonna make it to that trial. You wanna know what's even funnier? Diddy went to that jail to visit Derek his damn self in 2024.
Oh, wow.
Guess what name he was using to go to that jail to visit Derek so nobody would know it was him?
John Smith?
Brother Love.
Gosh.
What is clergy?
Damn. This is very wild. What made you?
That's where he went just a couple of days before HSI raided all of his properties. You mean, what do I think about the powers that be? What you want me to think?
Oh, wait.
Looks like Diddy not ready to give up yet, because his team now trying to get him a pardon or even have the whole case thrown out, and just days after his sentence, Trump confirmed they already reached out, and now everyone watching to see if power and money can really buy his way out this time.
Just 3 days after Diddy was sentenced to over 4 years in prison on prosecution charges, President Donald Trump seems to confirm he's heard from the mogul's legal team. The comments coming Monday from the Oval Office as reporters asked about a pardon for Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving 20 years for child trafficking.
Wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it, but I will speak to the DOJ. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump and Diddy's ties go all the way back to the late 90s. Diddy was reportedly a guest at the president's 2005 wedding, and they ran in the same social circles.
One mogul after another. It's mogul time. It's your boy Diddy.
ET's cameras caught them together at this New York charity event in 2008.
Even with all the proof out there, Diddy's still walking away with just 4 years, a chance at a pardon, and the same power that always kept him safe. But Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal not backing down. So this drama far from finished, and it feels like sooner or later, everything he tried to hide gonna come out for real. Even with all the proof, Diddy's still walking free with just 4 years and a shot at a pardon. But Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal not staying quiet, so this story not over yet. Keep watching, cause Taylor Tells All always got the real tea.